I think one of the big things that I got to take away from your event was not just to write a book, but to write it, to use it to formulate your own ideas, and then you crystallize.
Yeah.
And then again, you said you work for the, but it's just like you work for the book doesn't work for you. The other way around is that your idea isn't to sell this and retire.
No.
It's that this just ultimately is a vehicle that promotes you.
Yeah. So first of all, if no one read the book, it would be worth doing, and
Right.
it would be worth doing because two reasons. Number one, it crystallizes your ideas and your unique stories and your experiences and your insights, and it's through that writing process that you get to distill it and to crystallize your ideas. Secondly, weirdly, it frees up headspace to have more ideas. I don't know what it is, but you kind of formulate some ideas about life and about business or about your thing, and you juggle these ideas mentally and you keep having them and you keep sort of dancing around them and looking at them in different ways. When you finally get them out and put them into a book, something shifts in your head where you go, those ideas are safe now. They're in this safe place. The book is there, it's out. I can always go back to the book, and that is a marker in time of all my best ideas at that time. And then weirdly, your brain then says, all right, I'm ready for some new stuff. And you have another book, or you have new ideas. There's a lot of fear about putting your ideas into a book because you say, well, these are my best ideas, and if I just gave them away to the world for £5, then what would I be left with? And what actually happens is your best ideas at the time, they get better and deeper, and you end up with new ideas.
Talk about that scarcity, mindset where you think I got to hold these back. I think you said it best when it was like a cookbook, and Jamie Oliver shares his recipes all the time.
Yeah.
He's not proprietary about his content, so why should you be?
Yeah. Well, the idea is that most of anyone over 30 grew up in this thing called the information age. And we were told again and again and again that information's really valuable, and that my dad, for example, he had cassette tapes on his office bookshelf, and he'd paid hundreds of dollars for these. He had all these books, and he really valued information, and he would subscribe to reports and all this sort of stuff. And then when the internet kicked off, a lot of people were out there selling a report or selling an ebook or selling this thing. So there's this residue in our heads that the information age or the information is very valuable. And the reality is right now is not a lot of information is all that valuable anymore because it's so readily available. If someone says, I've got a book with the blueprints for a stealth bomber in it, and you go, oh, well, I'll look at that later. Or Richard Branson comes out with another book about how he built a billion-dollar empire, and you go, oh, well, that's good, but I'll look at that another time. And we're just drowning in information. So a lot of people are really worried that if they share their information, then they're not going to have any value left. And the reality is that the most valuable thing these days is implementation, that it's the process of making something happen. We're all drowning in ideas, but we're starved of actually seeing something happen, especially in our own lives. We want something to happen for us. We haven't got enough time to make things happen. There's all these things we want to get done, all these ideas that we have, but actually getting them done or getting them implemented. So one of the things we talk about, which leads into the third P, is productizing, which is share your ideas openly, share your information openly. Let people have that. Let people explore it. Someone who's just starting up in their journey might, put their own time and energy and effort into implementing it, and they were never going to be a customer or a client anyway. But for most people, they're going to say, actually, could you do it for me? So the reality of Jamie Oliver is that we buy his food porn, and we look at the pictures and we look at the ingredients and we get excited about this beautiful dish, and we think about how we could make it ourselves. But then we think, there's a Jamie's Italian just down the road and I could go and have someone make it for me. Or we think, I'm going to go down to Sainsbury's and buy the jar of sauce that's already made.
Right. So that's an example of him productizing.
Yeah, he's productizing
his free information, then leading to a product.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
So sure enough, if you want to buy the book and make it yourself, you can. But more often than not, what we want is things done for us.